The best thing about going to my wife's office party was that I got a chance to give my challenger a good spin. The worst part was that the faster I drove, the faster I would get there. The meeting was held in a cabin in the woods, and there was a good 20-mile stretch of road leading to it. No stop signs, no traffic lights, no traffic. Just an open road waiting for Dodge to do its thing. It also meant no gas stations or jiffy shops. Donna and I have been growing apart since our daughters got married. I was hoping for the opposite, but it was not meant to be. Donna insisted that I accompany her to the ceremony, even though I made it clear that I did not want to go. She used to go alone. Donna liked to drink, but I didn't. Sometimes I drank beer. Also, she was a social butterfly and I was not. For the past year, I have suspected that she was having an affair. By this time, I didn't care anymore. I think this was one of the reasons why we grew apart. I waited, just looked for a way out of an unpleasant relationship. I needed a way to end this matter. I must admit that it was probably because of me that my wife decided to look for lush pastures. I'm a weird type of minimalist, so to speak. I grew up in a very poor family. My brothers and I had much less than most kids our age, by which I mean things like bikes, toys, pets, fancy electronic gadgets, and the like. It was almost like being Amish without religion. I was no fool, and I fully understood how the normal world worked, but I couldn't bring myself to go along with it. I knew it was important to stay out of debt. Paying bills was important, and it was prudent to save something for retirement. To live a comfortable life as a minimalist, you don't have to be a fanatic, but you do have to keep yourself in check. By allowing yourself a few indulgences, you can appear normal to most people. My biggest weakness was marriage and family. I had a really hard time finding a woman who I felt could tolerate my eccentricities and who could accept my uniqueness. Donna came from the same background as me and was used to leading a modest lifestyle. She didn't accept it the way I did, but she could tolerate it. The longer we were married, the more she seemed to bounce back. She became less frugal. I didn't like it, but I understood, especially after the girls were born. In order not to seem strange, we bought a small, practical house and began to wear better clothes. Donna did her hair from time to time and became quite adept at grooming and makeup. We have 2 smartphones from last year's models. As the girls grew older, Donna began working. It was an office job with minimum wage. Transportation was necessary, so we bought her a small Honda Civic, just like I did. Her salary almost completely covered the cost of a car, lunches, and a new wardrobe. My name is William Smith. This is the most common name a person can get. I work for a local company that makes industrial compressors. The work is very monotonous, but I like it. I was satisfied with both the position and the salary. Sometimes I was offered a promotion, but I refused. I didn't say anything to Donna. I hid my second affair from my wife. I felt it was prudent to save for retirement. Every chance I got, I bought gold, 1 ounce of Krugerrand. I had over 30 in my safe in the basement, and I was just getting started. And finally, I took the liberty of a 1970 Dodge Challenger. Donna did a good job at Gilbert Industrial. She regularly received bonuses and promotions. During the first year, she talked quite a lot about her work, but then it started to fizzle out. Now she rarely mentions work or the people she works with. I knew something was wrong, but I couldn't figure out what it was. Tonight, I hoped to gain a better understanding of the situation. The party was something of a party. It was a weekend event. I felt out of place for even going there. I've dated all of her companions at one time or another, and I didn't like any of them. We pulled off the highway at Holbrook, and I was finally able to let the Challenger accelerate. Donna was uncomfortable with the speed, but she held her tongue. Yes, I was speeding, but I didn't care. Bill, why such a rush? We have enough time to get there. Why don't you slow down a little? I'm not eager to get there. You know very well that I didn't want to go at all. I'm just using this time to clean the engine. The car needs to run from time to time. Please try not to ruin my mood. This weekend is important for my career. Why? What are you talking about? Why is it so important for me to attend this corporate event? I don't understand. Bill, you need to fully understand my new position in the company so that you can give me the attention and support I need to do my job. I still don't understand. I'm sure Mrs. Simpson will be able to explain everything to you when we arrive. Marge Simpson was the wife of company president Glenn Robertson. Simpson, it was old money and old business. I have always supported you in the past. What changed? My new position has many unique responsibilities. Marge said you should get to know them gradually to fully understand them. It may be difficult to understand at first, but she assured me that you will come to understand. By the time we got to the cabin, my adrenaline was pumping. It didn't take a genius to figure out what Donna was trying to say. The weekend promises to be interesting. When we arrived, Donna walked into the cabin, leaving me to carry the bags. I felt like I had been put in my place. "Hey, nice wheels, Mr. Smith." It was Toby Wallace, the only decent worker in their office. "Hello, Toby. How are you?" Toby introduced me to his wife, Bonnie. They were sitting on the front porch, but it seemed like everyone else was inside. I glanced around the parking lot and estimated that there were about 16 cars there and one beat-up old truck at the end of the lot. We spent the next 5 minutes talking about the Challenger. "What are you doing outside? Why aren't you and Bonnie inside with the others?" "These are not our type of people, Mr. Smith. We were hoping to leave early, but Mrs. Simpson insists we stay. We came early today to help arrange everything. All the suppliers left about an hour ago." "You'll have to explain yourself. What's happening?" "Something suspicious, but I don't know exactly what. I don't want to upset you, but I think it has something to do with your wife." "Will you stay the whole weekend?" "No. That's why I parked my truck on the side of the road, so I wouldn't have to worry when we got ready to leave." It became more and more interesting every minute. "Okay, I'd better take all this to our room. Let me know before you leave, okay?" "Certainly, Mr. Smith. Be careful. Don't do anything stupid." Luckily, it was only 2 small bags. As I entered the house, Mrs. Simpson caught my eye, smiled, and waved. Donna was waiting for me at the top of the stairs and looked a little annoyed that it had taken me so long to enter. "It's time, Bill. We have a few hours to get ready for the evening. Clean yourself up and wear something presentable. It's going to be a special night, and I want everything to be perfect. If you don't mind, I'll take a little walk around the house to calm down. I'll be back soon." I found myself grinning as I walked out of the room. There was a slight chill that made my walk a little more pleasant. According to my calculations, there were actually 16 cars. These were mainly Mercedes, a few Jaguars, and a Lexus. 4 of the vehicles had out-of-state license plates. I was a little confused, trying to understand how a woman in my wife's position could measure up to people of that caliber. She, or rather we, were definitely beyond the level of these people. Something was wrong. I noticed Toby and Bonnie loading their bags into the truck. I waved and came over to chat. "I see Mrs. Simpson has decided to let you go." "Not really. We're kind of slipping away." "I don't feel comfortable here, Mr. Smith." Toby thought maybe we should stay, but I talked him out of it. Bonnie hastened to add, "Could you do me a little favor and stay here until the evening reception is over? I'm also a little worried and would really appreciate it. I have no idea what's going on, but I don't like it. Great minds think alike." "Isn't that right, Bonnie?" She blushed slightly at my pathetic attempt at humor. "I think we can. At this stage, there will be crabs and oysters. Toby, I think I'll like it." I dressed the way my wife insisted. Before we reached the buffet, the hostess took me by the arm and led me into a quiet alcove. "We're so glad you decided to come tonight to support Donna. This is a big step in her career, and it is important that she has your full support. The increase in salary and benefits is very significant, and I am sure you will be pleased with it. Forgive me for asking, but what position are we talking about?" Donna was a little cagey. When I ask her about it, she usually just shrugs it off and tells me to wait until the evening. "It's okay, William. I think she just wants to surprise you." "You did not answer my question." "There is no official name. I guess you could just say she's a personal assistant." "Understand. Well, the buffet looks good. Thanks for the explanation, Mrs. Simpson." "Marge." Please call me Marge. I spent the next hour or so trying everything on the line. Donna was busy socializing with important people, so Toby, Bonnie, and I were able to spend a little more time together. We were just packing when Mrs. Simpson arrived. William, Donna said that you arrived this evening in your sports car. I was wondering if you could take us on a little drink run. I smiled and nodded. There are 3 cases of wine at the ABC store in Holbrook. They're already paid for, so all you have to do is come and pick them up. There shouldn't be any problems, but if there are, just call me. Be sure to take your phone with you. I'll be glad, Marge. I'll let Donna know and go. When she left, I looked at Toby. Meet me outside in 5 minutes. Donna just smiled when I told her that Mrs. Simpson had asked me to help. Her only comment was, "Don't forget your phone." It's interesting that they both emphasized the same thing. Toby, I need a favor. He smiled when I tossed him the keys to the Challenger. Are you serious? Go to Holbrook and buy 3 cases of wine at ABC for Mrs. Simpson. I have a feeling there might be some problem that will cause a delay, if you know what I mean. Toby smiled and nodded. Here's my phone. Just put it on your dashboard. If he calls, don't answer. Whatever you do, don't turn it off. Questions? How long do you want us to stay away? At least 2 hours and top up with gas before you head back. Enjoy. It was a little chilly outside, but I took the precaution of wearing a comfortable jacket. Now all I could do was wait and watch. From various places on the back porch, you could see most of the inside of the house. A thermos of coffee would have been very helpful, but I didn't plan for it in advance. I found a convenient place from where I could look inside without being noticed. Donna was the center of attention. She smiled, laughed, and was embarrassed like a movie star. About 20 minutes later, Mrs. Simpson and Donna took a closer look at Donna's cell phone. I knew exactly what they were doing, checking my location. Well, thanks to Toby, I'm almost at Holbrook. They both smiled as Mrs. Simpson raised her hand and began to speak. Unfortunately, I couldn't make out what was being said, but everyone in the room seemed to quietly approve of what they were hearing. It sounded like quiet applause. Glenn Robertson Simpson walked over and took Donna's hand. They started up the main stairs and stopped. He raised his hands and hers in the air as if in a victory salute, and they both laughed. As they walked up the stairs, I heard cheers in the room. There was about an hour and a half left before the Challenger returned. I decided to take my time and enjoy life. I always had with me my trusty penknife of good steel with a sharp blade. I looked around and decided that I would start with the cars closest to the house. I was in no hurry. There was nowhere to rush. I carefully placed each valve stem in my jacket pocket. I didn't want to lose anything, and I didn't want to litter the Simpsons' driveway. 16 cars and 64 valve stems. I had almost an hour left. What to do? What to do? 4 cars were locked. All the others were open, so I started again with those closest to the lodge and removed the sign-up sheets. Some were in the visors, but most were in the glove compartments. I had no idea what I would do with them, but I thought they might come in handy in the future. There were still 30 minutes left before Toby returned. I decided that I needed to remove the valve stems on the spare tires. Since I had access to the cars, I also had access to the trunks. 20 minutes later, I had 10 more valves. 2 cars did not have spare tires. I know it was petty and childish, but it gave me a little bit of easy satisfaction. I'm not a big fan of confrontation, so everything I did or intended to do was low and mean. I didn't have any self-esteem issues, so I didn't feel the need to appear masculine or heroic. I will allow all alpha males to take on this role. 20 minutes later, the Challenger returned. Toby and Bonnie seemed to be enjoying the ride. He confirmed that there was indeed a delay at the ABC store, as I expected, and it looked like it was pre-planned. While they were gone, no one called my cell phone. I turned it off and took out the SIM card. They couldn't wait to get home as soon as possible. I thanked Toby, wished him a safe journey, and strongly encouraged him to find another job as soon as possible. I'm sure the cases of wine were quite expensive. This problem was easy to solve. I placed all 3 boxes on the porch of the lodge. I never wanted to be accused of stealing. The ride home was relaxing. There wasn't much in the house that was important to me. A few personal papers, a laptop, and Krugerrands. At first, I was going to set the house on fire before leaving, but that would have made Donna a martyr. I didn't want to do this. 2 hours later, I was on my way. I didn't feel the need to leave a traditional note or engagement ring. Let her figure it out herself. I was in no hurry and had no goal in mind. I drove for 2 days. On Monday morning, I called work and warned. I asked that my last check be sent to my parents in Carlisle. They were unhappy that I left without warning. I apologized, but did not explain anything. You can always count on a good breakfast at Waffle House. On the way, I bought the local merchandiser's newspaper and found an interesting advertisement for help needed for a local supermarket. They were looking for someone to stock the shelves between 10 in the evening and 6 in the morning. After breakfast, I checked out the market. It was in an eclectic, old neighborhood of Chattanooga. I spent the next hour driving around the area. There were many old craftsman cottages and a few mobile homes in the immediate area. I could have been happy in a small trailer, but I was hoping for a step up. Then I accidentally came across a sign offering to rent a garage apartment. I hadn't asked about a job yet, but I didn't want to lose my garage apartment. The garage was not included in the price, but when I offered $50 a month more, they agreed. It was a small apartment with 1 bedroom and no shower. It was furnished haphazardly, a bed, a chest of drawers, a table and chairs. The rent was normal and the location was suitable, so I took it. I'll solve the bathroom problem later. At least I had a garage for the Challenger. The situation in the supermarket was somewhat different. They had a lot of applicants, but not so many that they felt comfortable leaving them alone in the store overnight. I explained my situation to the owner and did not mince words. What finally sealed the job for me was that I offered to work menial jobs without any benefits, and for $1 less than they wanted to pay. They didn't even ask for my social security number. I was happy and they were happy. It was a 10-minute walk from the apartment. I spent the rest of the day settling into my new home. The landlord gave me the access code to his internet, which was nice. After a short trip to the local Goodwill, I had some kitchen supplies and a small microwave. I also have linens and cleaning supplies. That evening, I canceled my insurance policies. I decided not to bother with bank or credit cards. Who knows how they can do harm? Both of our daughters were married. This made my departure a little easier. There are no grandchildren yet, but I'm sure it won't take too long. I called my daughter Lara and told her that I was okay. I asked her to be ready to help her mother if necessary. Lara knew I had left, but Donna didn't give her any other information. She promised to tell her sister Linda the news. I deleted all calls from my wife and turned off the phone again. I needed to take a shower, maybe tomorrow. Not everything was perfect. I needed to find a safe place for my gold. I know that what I had was not considered significant, but it was important to me. For some strange reason, I got a safe in Huntsville, Alabama. I hoped they wouldn't associate him with me in Chattanooga. Of course, I was completely wrong, but I wanted to at least try. The drive was almost 2 hours, but that's what I decided. The apartment's garage door was pretty secure, but I installed a new deadbolt and heavy-duty lock just to be sure. I need to be protected. It didn't take me long to settle into my new job. The first 3 nights a man worked with me, and then they left me alone. After the first 2 weeks, I had everything under control. For $20 a month, I got a membership to the Planet Fitness Club, which solved my shower problem. I started work at 10 in the evening and finished at 6. Next was a 20-minute run or 30-minute walk to the Planet. Initially, I only used the shower, but gradually I started using some exercise equipment. By the end of the first month, I was working out at the gym for almost 2 hours every day. I felt better and lost some weight. I never considered myself heavy, but I was a little flabby. I was happy with my new job. It was monotonous, but at the same time different. It's hard to explain, but I'm sure you'll understand what I mean. I did my job, and they left me alone. The gym was also a good choice. I decided which exercises I liked and which ones I should avoid. I didn't have a TV, but I did have a used desktop computer with a good monitor. I haven't been cooking much, but I have found that my eating habits have changed a bit. Although it was not my intention, I found myself drifting towards the keto diet. After 3 months, I felt better and lost weight. It's time to reconnect with my daughters. This time I called Linda. "Hello, Linda, this is your father." "Well, it's time. We were all worried about you. Are you okay? Yes, everything is fine. Do not worry about me. I've always been able to take care of myself. I'm only calling to make sure your mom is okay. Mom is doing great. It looks like she got a promotion at work and loves her job. She is, however, very angry with you. She said you left her at a promotion celebration and then left home like a resentful little boy. These are the words she used. She said that you are jealous of her success. I'm very sorry, but I can't add anything to this. Until she's ready to tell you the truth. That's all I have. She said that without your income, things are difficult, but with her increase, she can cope. Well, I'm happy for her. Did she tell you anything about her new job? Only that she earns more money and travels a lot. I didn't answer. After a short pause, Linda asked, "Are you coming home for Christmas?" "Don't think. I'll try to send something for you and Lara." "We don't need anything, Dad. We'd rather you were here." "Sorry, and now I have to go. Say hi to Lara for me. Bye." I felt a little depressed. I had the feeling that my daughters did not understand the situation and considered me the cause of all the problems. I wasn't happy about it, but I didn't feel obligated to explain myself. It was obvious that there was no remorse on my wife's part. I felt a little sad. From what my daughter said, Donna was doing just fine without me. I didn't understand why she wanted me to be home. I spent the weekend depressed. My beer consumption increased. As the weeks passed, I found that things were going well. I did a good job and got a promotion I didn't expect. They gave me complete freedom to carry out my duties, and in a very short time, I had streamlined and improved the replenishment system.